I say, YouTube, good morning, good morning, good morning. If it's your first time rocking with the boy, I be the KING, SPR, double three. That be me, King Spree. And you locked in with the real estate, tell me. Reporting live from Savannah, Georgia. Decatur where it's crazy. Or whatever Lloyd said in the beginning of that song. So I want to get right into it because I don't really got much time. It's really early and I'm running late as it is, believe it or not. So before we get started, like the video, please. Liking the video helps spread the message, grow the channel. Like the video, subscribe if you're rocking with the boy, and leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with the topic. Speaking of topic, I'm watching the All-American basketball game yesterday. And of course, the star of the night, as far as who was most marketed, was LeBron James Jr. And I'm not gonna lie, he's not a star, but he's a solid player. But that's not what this video is about. He's a solid player though. He's a 3-and-D. Pause. He's a 3-and-D. But a smaller version. So I'm watching the game, and I'm thinking to myself. Sorry, I keep looking around. I'm looking around. And I'll make another video while I'm looking around later on. But I'm watching the game, and I see LeBron James. I see Bryce. I see Savannah. I see the little daughter. I see the mom, Gloria James, the grandma, I guess in this case. And I'm saying to myself, man, LeBron has so much support for Bronny, right? Not just financial. We know that's there. We know that, his kids ain't got to worry about much financially. But it's just so much what seems to be genuine enthusiasm for his success. And it made me think, why don't we have that amongst us? And by us, I mean Black people in particular. Why don't we have that? Now, of course, some would say, oh, my mom supports me, my dad supports me. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, it seems like Black parents, and I made a video about this before, go ahead and check it out. Are Black parents jealous of their kids? It seems like Black parents, for the most part, unless you are so far above them, you dribble a ball, you rap a song, you're like a celebrity. Unless you're like a celebrity, or maybe you figured it out and you own a bunch of properties so much that a big time real estate dude, a real estate investor. Unless you're that, it almost seems like your parents are not going to add to your success. Now, if you get it yourself, yeah, they're proud of you. Oh, good job. Hey, you figured it out. But they're not going to be the ones to add to it for the most part. Now, let's take a bunch of different examples. Let's take finances. I'm not just speaking for me. I can speak for peers of mine as well that I've had a conversation with. Now, maybe it's different in other places, but for the most part, this is kind of how it goes based on my research. Black parents are not teaching their kids about finances at all. Zero. And what little they do teach is save your money, buy a house. But as far as the ins and outs of how money works, they don't teach it at all. They don't teach about credit. The only thing they say about credit is don't use it. And mind you, I'm talking about middle class Black people, Black families. I can only imagine what's going on in the inner cities. They're not teaching about credit usage or how to use credit, how to build credit. They're definitely not teaching about how to invest and make business opportunities. Now, some would say it's because they don't know. I beg to differ. A lot of times, and I'll take my personal example, a lot of times they do know. But they look at it like, you should watch me and figure it out. I've had my mom actually say those things. You should have watched me and figured it out. If you see me do something, you should have figured out how to do it. An example I always give is, I asked my mom, this maybe a couple months ago, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a notary when I move to Georgia. I know you are one. How do you go about doing that again? What are the steps I need to take? Oh, look it up online. I know I can look it up online. But I'm asking you because, one, you're my mom, but more importantly, you are somebody that already did the process. I'm asking you so that I don't make no missteps. Why must I go look it up online and possibly make a misstep when you've already done the process. Now take that and extrapolate it. They don't do that with more. How many of your family members, how many of your moms and dads own property, but never sat you down with the ins and outs of how to go about getting a home? Never set you down with what to watch out for, what to not watch out for. What's the PI insurance? What they call it? The insurance. I forgot what it's called. The insurance on a home. What rates you have to look out for? What's a good rate? How much down payment you're gonna need? How much closing costs are gonna be worth? How much you need to have in reserves? Like all the things that come with buying a home, other than just the mortgage. What's the property value? What's the property tax? So on and so on. They never sat you down and said that, did they? You take credit. For the ones that were smart enough to put their kids on as an authorized user when they were young, they set their kids up to at least have good credit as they got older. So when it was time for student loan time, I do that cough shit because that's a scam. But when it was time for student loan time, or time to get your own apartment, or time to get your own car, you at least had a history of credit usage and a decent credit score, if not outright a great credit score, in order to make that process easier. But most family members did not do that. Most family members did not educate you on how to do it. Most family members don't give any financial support for doing it. And forget like buying cars. I'm not talking about buying cars. I'm talking about the overall aspect of being some sort of a success. I posted a picture the other day, last night I think it was. I posted it in the group chat, my family group chat, and I posted it also online on Instagram. And it basically showed that if your parents made $100,000 in 1983, you would need the equivalent today to have the same purchasing power. You would need to have made $300,000. The number was like $298. That means that the value of the dollar has gone down, to the point where it's worth 1/3 of what it used to be worth. And you now need to make 3 times as much for equal value back then, right? So you add inflation, not just natural inflation, but just you add inflation to the nth degree, mixed with lenders and schools and predatory behavior on children that don't know any better, that are not educated. You mix that with just how marketing is done, especially to the inner city and black people. Check cash in places, take out this loan, pay later, 4 easy payments, so on and so on. And it leads you to the point where most of us are living check to check or outright broke, or can't even survive without government assistance. And I'm looking at LeBron James and I'm seeing how, now granted, yes, LeBron James is a billionaire. Yes, LeBron James has money. I'm not really talking about the money aspect, but the way he seems to be setting his kid up as far as the game. Now, I'm not there when they're practicing. I have no idea what he's telling them. But it just seems like he's setting his kid up for the game. Like he's the ins and outs. You ever seen that clip of LeBron with Austin Reeves, and he's like explaining something to him on the court, and Austin Reeves seems to be taking the information in and being like, okay, yeah, damn. I can almost guarantee he's doing that with his kids. I can almost guarantee he's doing that with his kids. My bad. I can almost guarantee he's doing that with his kids. So as a result, it puts him in a situation where it's like, I'm setting my boy up, I'm setting my girls up, I'm setting my family up so that they can survive without me, not just financially, but with the knowledge it takes to be able to run their life properly. And in a black household, man, it really is on some, you got to figure it out. I got friends that are in the real estate and they working day in and day out to try to make something happen. Right? To try to set up generational wealth, or try to set up at least a great retirement for themselves at minimum. And all they need is an extra nudge, man. All they need is an extra 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 that'll put them over the top. And their parents got it. It's not a thing if your parents don't got it. Their parents got it. Their parents got it through pensions. Their parents got it through when they sold their house and they made a lump sum of money. And yes, it's the parents' money to do what they want with it. That is true. But if you truly are worried about your legacy being continued, and you truly are worried about your children, I mean, that's what we do it for. You can't take this money with you. All you can do is live a decent quality life while you're here, and then the rest of the money is going to them anyway, whatever little money you got. Why not set them up in a situation where, one, you're garnering good relationships based on, I saw you needed a little assistance, you needed a little bit of nudge, I gave it to you. It ain't like my peers, the people that I'm talking about, are out here on the couch doing drugs, smashing girls in their mom's house, and then just chilling all day. And they're not working. Man, they not only are they working harder than most people have ever worked, but they just need a little bit of help, a little nudge to get to the next level. And a lot of parents are on some, you got to figure it out. I'm not going to help. Like, I've been paying some form of rent since I was 14, technically. But then I took a gap from 14 to 18 because I couldn't. It didn't make sense to go, at the time I was working at Winn-Dixie, bagging groceries. It didn't make sense to go for 4 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday, and I was making like $5. I was making $20 a day. It just didn't make sense. So I was like, I'd rather just be in school and not have to worry about any type of things on the weekend. So I didn't start working again until I was 17. And then I started getting, imposed some kind of rent on me. And I've been paying rent since I was 17. Now, granted, sometimes I didn't have it, and I would get a little leeway or would skip months. And then when I went back to school, I just outright stopped paying rent, period, because I couldn't afford to pay rent. I didn't have any money. But the point I'm making is that, what do you get out of this little $200? The little $200 for me is 1/6 of my income. The $200 for you barely don't pay anything. At minimum, I should be able to stay with you for free so I can build mines. Because an investment in me is really an investment back in you. Because when the time comes to be taken care of, who do you think gonna do it? Like, and a lot of like minorities don't think this way. When the time comes to be taken care of, who you think's gonna do it? It's gonna have to be me, or some version of me and my siblings. So an investment in us is an investment in you. But minorities don't think like that. They really do have a very like crab in the barrel, almost like slave-like mentality, where they think like, I have to get it, but I have to do it on my own, and there's only so much I can do. And once I do whatever that version is, I hold those secrets to myself. So I learned how, so almost like I learned how to read. I can't be teaching everybody how to read, because then they're going to know we know how to read. And that's not the right mindset to have. We need to be, sorry I keep looking around, but I'm in a vacant parking lot, and sometimes these cops, man, out here, everything's a problem. So we need to be educating. We need to be putting the information out at all times. But more important than anything, that's your job as a parent. That's your job, to guide, to lead, to encourage, and to assist when appropriate. I'm not saying give me $10,000 so that I can go gamble, and that's my like. If you can't go to your parents for something, then who can you go to? If you can't go to your parents for guidance, then who can you go to? And a lot of parents in the inner city or black parents feel like, oh, I can't say minority, because the Latins don't do that. The Hispanics don't do that. The Asians don't do that. The Indians, the Native Americans, they don't do that. Even the Caribbean households, they don't do that. It's only the African American households where they feel like you're on your own after 18. And before 18, I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm not going to educate you. Whatever the school teaches you is what you learn. And after 18, you're on your own. And if I decide to let you stay with me after 18, all this is a favor. All of this is a favor. And I'll impose some kind of rent on you, or I'll impose some kind of whatever on you. A lot of black people that are grown now take pride and say, yeah, I moved out when I was 18. But the reality is like, you moved out when you was 18 and you paid $1,200 in rent. When that $1,200 could have been in a Roth IRA, that $1,200 could have been going towards your business, going towards buying fucking real estate, going towards saving and to do other things, going towards putting a brokerage account. And now you could be well off. But instead you paid that $1,200 in rent, and now look at you. It just don't add up, man. You mix that with how the school, they brainwash you to go to school so that you could take $100,000 out in loans to make only $40,000, $50,000 a year. Like they brainwash you, and if your parents are not there to assist or offer guidance, especially because they've been through it too. Like a dad should be able to sit a son down and be like, yo, here's how the game goes. A mom's ready to sit a daughter down or a son too and be like, yo, this is what you need to watch out for. Here are the pitfalls they're going to try to get you. Now, if you tell me that and I still do whatever I'm going to do, you tried. But to not even have the conversation ever. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. And then these NBA players go and be like, yeah, you're the real MVP. Yeah, maybe for you they were. But you never know the other side of the story. You never know why the dad wasn't there. You never know situations. You know what was told to you. And a lot of times, man, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but you know, I'm a grown man now, so it doesn't really apply to me. I have to figure things out, which I am. But it's just a matter of things could be a lot smoother if you had that support. And I don't just mean money, man. I don't just mean somebody giving you money. Somebody sitting you down whenever there's a pitfall about to come and say, listen, here's what you have to kind of watch out for. I've traveled this path before. There's going to be a bump on this side. There's going to be a couple boulders on that side. There's going to be this over there. Here's what I did to get over them. Or here's what I couldn't do when I got to that boulder. But at least you're aware of it now, so you can decide how you want to go about doing it, now that you know you're aware of it. But if you don't even know what lies on the road ahead of you, and your parents went through the same steps you went through, not to mention it's a different world. Your parents back then could buy a house for $120,000 in a great neighborhood. You could get a 6-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms, including a bidet. A bidet's in that mother effer, and you could get all that for $220,000 back in 2001. Now the same house goes for almost $1 million, and that's only a 20-year difference. Bruh, it's not the same, man. It's not the same. And our parents are unaware of how hard this shit really is, man. This shit really is hard financially. Like, there's no money. There's just no money. Even for guys that got good jobs, they say I have a good job. Anyway, I'm probably gonna watch this back and look like I was whining, but whatever, man. We gonna put the emotion on the channel because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. So I'm watching the game, and I commend a LeBron James, at least how it's portrayed in the media. I don't know him, but I commend how he's raising his kids and what seems to be how he's going about leading the troops. I think we need more of it. Like, comment, subscribe, comment down below. Y'all agree? Did y'all have an upbringing where your parents educated you on the road ahead, so to speak, whether financially, whether spiritually, physically, whatever, or y'all in the same boat as me? Like, comment, subscribe. Been a message brought to you by the good people over here at Spree ENT. It's going to all make sense real soon.